If you're trying to build a game while working a full-time job, you've probably felt like you're failing at both, even when you're doing more than most people ever will. Today I want to talk to you about balancing a full-time job and indie game development, not from a productivity or grind mindset, but from a realistic one. Because the truth is, balance doesn't look the way we think it does. There's this idea that if you just manage your time better, everything will click. That you'll find the perfect schedule, the perfect routine, the perfect number of hours in a day. But when you're already working a full-time job, your energy is largely already spoken for. And doubly so if you have a family to take care of. You're giving your best focus, problem solving, and patience to something that already has deadlines, meetings, and expectations. Indie dev happens after all that. And trying to pretend like those two things are equal sets you up to feel behind before you even start. One of the biggest mindset shifts for me was realizing that time is not the limiting factor. Energy is. You might technically have 2 or 3 hours in the evening after everything else is said and done. But mentally, you might only have 30 minutes that's actually usable. And that's not a personal failure. That's just how demanding full-time work is. The mistake is expecting yourself to be able to do deep creative work at the same intensity every day on top of a job that already drains you. That expectation burns out people faster than anything else. When you're balancing a full-time job and your indie dev project, progress needs to be redefined. Progress might be opening the project file and fixing one small thing, writing down and planning what you're going to work on next, cleaning up something that's been bothering you, spending 15 focused minutes instead of waiting for the perfect night. This is where consistency will beat intensity. Not every session needs to move the project forward in visible ways. And trust me, some months that I've been working on Horizons of Achaea, not everything is a visible progress. Some sessions just need to keep the project alive in your mind. And that matters more than it sounds. The idea is to let the pace be slower than what you want. This part is hard. You're going to move slower than people who work on their games full time. You're going to see others release demos, trailers, and announcements while you're still chipping away. That doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It means you're building something around a life, not instead of one. The goal is not to match someone else's pace. It's to find a pace that you can sustain without resenting your project. Because the fastest way to quit is to turn your game into something that's another source of pressure. So, in closing, balancing a full-time job and indie game development isn't about doing everything every day. It's about showing up in ways that fits the season you're in. Some weeks you're gonna make visible progress. Some weeks you'll barely touch the project. And sometimes just not quitting is a win in itself. If you're still working on your game, even slowly, even imperfectly, you're doing something incredibly difficult and you're not behind. Thank you for tuning into this video today. And if you want, I'm also building a game called Horizons of Achaea. Links are below for our Steam page, and I'd much appreciate it if you gave it a wish list. And as always, everybody, I'll see you on the horizon.